Hood postman, reporting live. This the hood postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, gotta grip the whip with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? We took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the four corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes, I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes, I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never told a lie. Let's ride. Hood postman, 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 hood postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it's going to feel like it's the first and the 15th. And shout out to everybody in the chat room. Marlena William, Postmaster General. Okay, they not crazy, boy. I see that name, the unique spelling. Okay. King Mike Marks, what it do? I see you in there, fella. So once again, we're back on another Wisdom Wednesday. And, you know, these, again, this is not a glamorization or glorification. This is strictly for education. These are stories predicated upon the things I saw through the lens of my eyes and things I felt that needed to be spoke upon, or where I gave rise to individuals that's no longer here that can speak for themselves. And one of those individuals we'll be speaking about today is the late great Zeus, aka Mr. Blvd. We're gonna get into his story and we're gonna talk about him and how he I impacted him and he impacted me and so on and so forth. And so we're gonna see where he aligned with Turtle, Twin, Gangster, all that. And shout out to anybody else that comes on that want to add to what I'm saying, because my side is just one side, but there's multiple sides. Everybody have different relationships. And often we find that the relationships is a lot bigger than 2 individuals. It can go to the next individual. It just spreads over. So nobody has a lock on it, so to speak. So let's get to it. Let me give you the wisdom though. Here's the wisdom, right? Anger is separation. Jealousy is separation. Fear is separation. Not gathering facts, not engaging and understanding the separation in all things that separate and break down the fabric of goodness. They destroy that which is built by love. They destroy that which is built by love. You got to know whether you're building or you're destroying. That's what our job is today as individuals, as men, as black men and black women, whether we're building or we're destroying. And that's where we want to be. And that is the perfect way for me to explain where we at today, because there's so much going on in our communities and so much going on in our society. It's important that we understand and get a figurative understanding of why we do what we do, why we indulge in each other, why we say some of the things that we say about each other, when we can just love on each other, embrace each other, encourage each other, uplift, motivate, and just offer a spirit. So let's get to it. Zeus, right? That cat in the hat. That's the name, Turtle, Twin, and Gangster King. The cat in the hat. Because if you look at that expression on Zeus' face, you would see that he had that cat in the hat look, you know. But he was the game changer. The game changer in the sense, Lock and Load, I see you out there. That's my guy out there. Lock and Load just stopped by. That beautiful 59 that you guys saw me in, that is his 59, Lock and Load. But anyway, Zeus was a game changer. And to not give credit to all these other individuals, let me do this first, okay? I'm gonna say this: the Robert Kitchens, the Lonnies, which is Zeus' brother, who definitely inspired Zeus, the Bob Murphys, the Curtis Malakons, the Otis from O&J's, the Tony, the Cliffs. I just want to give all those guys right there that was out of Compton that came way before. These are the guys that came out of the 60s and went into the 70s and some of the 80s. Curtis Malakon is probably still low riding somewhere. Yeah, that's just who he is. He got low riding in his blood. So again, Zeus, right? Zeus' family arrived from here, from Mississippi, and they moved on a little street called Poppy. Right next door to him was Jamie, and his two sisters, and my homeboy little Gary. Jamie name is Reach, and down the street was Bad Mike and Eddie Moe, and all these guys that would gather. You will see as I put up some of these clips how you would see how he was as an individual. He was charismatic in himself because he inspired others. He built multiple lowriders. His sister Magdalene, his sister Katie, Diane, his brother Lonnie, his brother Calvin. I went to elementary school with Calvin. So they moved relatively over there where they at, about 68, 69, right on that little street. But what's unique about all that, and also I mentioned, of course, Zeus was the baby, right? Zeus, okay? We all had things in common like Oaks Park. We all played up at that park. We all went to the satellite market right there with a little neighborhood store. We all remember the burrito factory and all that. All during the summer, we was all right there, and we all played in that park right there. Even I'm gonna take it a step back. The Parkers, John Parker, Rod Parker, Calvin Parker, the Terry Brown, Michael Brown. Yeah, that Terry Brown that you guys know from over there. We all played in that park right there. The O'Bannons, the Romars, all these individuals, all the Hubie Brooks, the Kenny Landros, we all played in this park. And we all had relationships far that went way beyond any of this other stuff that came later on. But the one thing you can say about lowriding, right? Lowriding has a way of bringing together groups of individuals, and there'd be no distinction, there'd be no drama, there'd be no, I'm talking about black and brown and white people alike, and to bring them together in such a way that you enjoy being in that atmosphere. That is such a great atmosphere, and it's just something you can't get over. You know, it's just something you want to be around. Cornell Number Zeus, and shout out to Zeus' nephew, man, for helping me, providing me with certain information and giving me pictures. Him and Reach, they gave me the pictures and stuff. So shout out to them for being a part of this, because I couldn't do it because I only have portions of a story. So I have to interview other people outside of other people to get to the interviewee. That's what I do. So here's the thing, right? Dealing with facts, data, figures, and truth. That's where I line at. Those 4 pillars, right? Those are my 4 pillars of which I build my story on. I don't try to go outside it. I don't try to add to it, put my own twist or flavor. I go right to the sources and I talk to them, and that's the way we come out. Oh yeah, I forgot about Andre. Sorry about Andre. Yeah, I thought I mentioned Andre. Yeah, I thought I mentioned Andre. Thank you for catching me with that. So there was 3 sisters and actually 4 brothers. That was the makeup of the family. So they grew up right there in the cul-de-sac. Well, it was necessary. Yeah, well, I guess you could call it a cul-de-sac. It was like a T-bone, because the street that ran into it was, I believe, Van Ness, and then Poppy spread it out like East, north and south, north and south. Yeah. So anyway, Zeus, as he began to grow, he began to take on this persona, right? Because the original, let me go back to the Majestics, right? Let me go all the way back to them. Some of the first early on Majestics, the first early on Majestics were people like Cal. Cal was the president, which was a Parker. I think Victor was the vice president, was the SA. And then you had John Parker, and you had Rob Parker, you had Donald McCain, his brother David McCain, and you had Black Tone. Black Tone's Marlena, your cousin. Black Tone was part of it. Beanie Boy, Scruncho, Honcho, Twin, Turtle, Gangster. All of them were part of some of the early beginnings of the Majestics. And so when you see these guys still around and still building these cars, it's amazing in itself to even see how they still have that commitment to that. And it was Boulevard Rod, right? He got the name Boulevard from Tall Boy and Dirty Wayne. He used to hit the boulevard up the Hollywood Boulevard dipping, and because he was the first guy I ever seen break with a Lincoln. He called it Sweet Sensation. Remember that Stephanie Mills Sweet Sensation? He broke with that Continental and put them Zenas on it and took it up to Otis O&J off of there next to the Rosecrans Drive-In. Not the Rosecrans, but the Compton Drive-In, right there off the corner. All that's not there anymore, but right there was O&J, Otis. And he took it up there and Otis cut it for him. I had never seen anybody be so bold. It just was a bold move because it made a statement. Yeah, Jimmy Tallboy. Yeah, it was just such a bold statement to see somebody take a brand, because prior to that, most of the guys were delving in Chevys and old cars. Back then, you could buy a Chevy for $400 or $500, not knowing that the value of them would be increased to what they are today, not knowing all that. So that was the name that personified that guy that hit the boulevard, right? And Zeus, I guess he liked that moniker because Zeus, even when Rod made the license plate, the boulevard, Zeus somehow attained the license plate. And that's where you get the Mr. Boulevard. You'll see him pull it up in that 4, dipping, pull it up, hitting them switches. You'll see him ride it. It'll say Mr. Boulevard right there in plain sight.
Right here we got Robert Carcel, a.k.a. Zeus, riding up in the Cherry Red 64 with the hot switch hand. I'm talking about hopping out the sky, jumping off the ground, seesawing, three-wheeling. He just was the guy when it came to that. You see on his bumper say Mr. Boulevard. Yeah,
there it is there, Mr. Boulevard.
Every day, putting that red 4 up against any and everybody, taking all takers. Mr. Zeus, Mr. A.K., Mr. Boulevard. There he is, Robert Carcel, my homeboy, my loved one. Rest in peace.
There he is. Rest in peace. That's him. That's Zeus right there. I mean, and I don't think enough credit is given to him and how he paved the way, because if you think about it, the Dayton wire, right? He was the first one to powder coat that Dayton red. The first one. He was the first one. And if I'm speaking out of turn, then somebody will probably correct me later, but I just believe in my heart that he was one of the first ones. I'm gonna say one of the first ones to do it. One of the first ones to chrome a block. He had so much invested and so much into the lowrider, because just think about it. You got Turtle around there. These are all these amazing dudes right in this one big generalized area that had all this talent, that had all this charisma, that had all this ready to just build a cut. Me, myself, I just like standing watching. I admired it. Robert Kitchen built the optical illusion. And that was some of the first car shows. Those were super shows that we went to back in 71, 72, 73 at the Long Beach Arena. He won trophies. So that was some of my first experiences with lowriding. And I loved it. But I loved it not enough to put my money into it. It's just me, But anyway, so as time evolved, and because me and Robert got real familiar later on, because we actually got together over Pyrex bowls and oversized jars. That's that. because during that time I had David Anderson, rest in peace, and my guy Bill Hill, my loved one, man, rest in peace. Scotty and Eho, we all, they all wanted that same flavor, that same game, and yours truly could provide it for them. So that put the staple, that was the glue to our relationship, and that's how we grew together. And and he would always all these guys, right, would always, no matter where I was at, pull up or whatever, they would always quiz me and try to get a full understanding of what was ahead or how to manipulate this game to where it benefited them. And I was willing to tell them. They was my loved ones. They was my homeboys. But again, once again, Tall Boy, let's give out a shout out to Tall Boy for coining that phrase, Boulevard Ride, and then Zeus having the foresight to say, I'm on the plate. And also, I think Folsom was part of the earlier Majestics as well. So we can't do it. You had the gold bullion. We can't take that from him. So all that played a part. It was just so many different moving parts. And he developed and built, let's see. After the end he got in the game, I think Zeus was building like 3 or 4 lowriders a year because he had so much going on that once that money started rolling in, and then you start having more access, and you start having, and then all your ideas and abilities just come forefront because you got the monetary equivalent to the idea to make it all happen and make it all become. Next door to him was Chava, where everybody used, Chava was over there taking bumpers, skirts, fenders, motors, transmissions, pulling everything. Reach was right there, Reach was like real. Him and Zeus had a real close relationship, and they built cars together. They did a lot of stuff together. You can't negate that fact. And I thought that was important that I mentioned that because they live like 2 or 3 doors away from one another. So they saw each other every day, all day. And they discussed probably more or less building cars. They loved them trades and fours, that was just something they did, and man, I take my hat off them because they did it really quite well. And it was just something that you could just like admire. I think Zeus spent over about 5 years in the Majestics. And then from there on, he went on to the Imperials. So again, he built all those cars, and I included Bad Mike, I included Eddie, because I don't want to leave none of these guys out. Eddie Mo, rest in peace. Turtle Twin, they were part of it. Everybody. Then Andre Howard down the street from him. I can't forget Andre. Andre had a part in that. So all these guys was amazing car builders, and I couldn't do less. It would be less of me to not mention all these guys that was a part of that. Even when you go back to the Robert Kitchens and the Lonnies, which is Zeus' older brother, and the Curtis Malakons and the Otis and the Cliffs and the Tonys and all these guys that were at Compton that was building these cars. It was just amazing as I reflect back, and thinking about how Zeus looked. The cat in the hat, Dr. Seuss. And you saw that one picture. I spelled his name wrong on that one picture. God forgive me for that one. But the Parker boys, when it comes to lowrider, right? Lowriding in Compton, you can't and I'm talking about from the car club perspective. You can't start without mentioning the Parker boys. There was a lot of misinformation out there about the Parker boys as far as them. Don't let them, they'll get your car with the tow. Oh, that was BS. They were some of the coolest dudes and would help anybody, be a part. I think the first car club they was in was the Devotions. And then Rod actually was part of the Norwalk chapter of Majestics. But everybody knew that SoCal became Compton Majestics, and the Compton Majestics became the King of the Hill at some point. That just did, and that's how it came. And I want to play this other clip for you guys. I hope you guys are getting some of this. and hope I'm not boring. Reach one. What's going on, big brother? Rest in peace. Another mother. Wow. Compton hydraulics was the spot. Elbow teach Zeus to trade. Oh yeah, right. I mean, we definitely got to put Kevin in there because Kevin did everybody floor pans. He did quarter panels. He did frames. Kevin did a lot of work in regards to that. But I think the idea of all the different paints and patterns came from the individuals themselves. Each individual was inspired by certain things, just like when Gangster was inspired about doing the Santana in a black rag. That had to come from his genius. When Turtle had that car, I called it the Gypsy Rose, but it wasn't a Gypsy Rose, but it was just a red tray with a bunch of roses and the patterns. I love that car too. He let me drive it a couple of times. I would always see him or Zeus or Andre Howard, all these guys hitting, and then I always admired it. I didn't, I always like, man, because the first time, some of the first times I got a low, I felt when I finally got a chance to feel what they felt, it was an amazing feeling. It was amazing feeling, Just think about you, Rod Parker, right? You got to be 16, 17 years old. You got a 78 Continental front and back with Zeniths on it. Ain't nobody else got one of these. You the only one like that. You coming through this with that Sweet Sensation by Stephanie Mills bumping. That had to be a great feeling. That had to be a great feeling. Let me see. Let's see. Where is Zeus at? There's some pictures I want to show you guys of Zeus. Let me see. Where is he at? Right here.
You can see Zeus gather with a bunch of friends. There's Reach, there's Bad Mike, and
That's
there's
Reach,
also Eddie
Bad
Mo.
Mike,
And then he
and
showcased
Eddie
right there
Mo.
some of his lowriders that he built. He built maybe 3 or 4 lowriders a year. He's right here with his lime green 4. And then right there, you see him with a bike. So he's always had the passion to build stuff and do things right there. You see him in his little tux. I'm sure he's
That's the
going to
cat in the
prom.
hat.
Just a casual tire right there.
See,
But the
there you
most
go, the
pride and
cat in
joy
the
was
hat.
right here. This cherry red 64 that he built and also sold the first car to the Japanese.
Yeah, so he sold like the first car to the Japanese, right? How big was that? What precedence did that set in itself? For these guys that they were so impressed the way he built cars, they wanted to buy it. Because what the Japanese is really great at is copying. And what you call, like, I guess you would call bootlegging, or yeah, they copy stuff really well. So now they over there fabricating parts, building their own 64s and stuff off of fabricated parts and 3M printing and different machines that they use to come up with these different parts and cut these parts and put these cars together. So they have advanced in so much technology that now they don't have to come over here and buy the cars anymore. They can just create their own special construction. And my guy Kenny Wayne, let's hear from him.
What is skating ring, partner?
Ring, partner? I love to hear him say that. He was always with that. That was just his wisdom, his understanding, and how he, infectious he was over the people that it just to me, you can't reenact it, you can't counterfeit it. You gotta just be in there and be in that glory to understand exactly how it went and what I was seeing and what I was feeling during that time. Do you guys, I'm gonna say this too. This is a little bit off topic. Trump was indicted today. Hopefully, whatever that is, I don't know if they're gonna upset the ecosystem or it's gonna throw off the whole plan. I don't know, because some of these people would seem so upset about it. Hey, whatever it is, whatever they do, let them do it. Black people, don't mind us, just watch it. But go ahead and lock that door. That's what y'all need to be saying. But anyway, so yeah, Zeus, man, just amazing guy. Actually, he passed away in '94, and it was due to Sickle cell anemia is when you have unusual red blood cells that just attack the white blood cells. Yeah, so yeah, that was Skate Depot. So that was, and I don't know if he knew he had it or he never, because he never did talk about it, or anything like that. I'm sure that his family was aware of it, and that's just something that happens in our community, Black people. That sickle cell anemia. I have a nephew that has it, so hopefully that by this time, because medicine is a little more advanced and they have a little more handle on different cures and how to keep people surviving and living, and not fall into earlier stage of not being here anymore. Dominic Merriweather, what's happening, man? Cornell Norman, what's going on? Skating ring partner. So anybody have any questions in regards? I looked at the Japanese lowriders culture in YouTube. Yeah. What's up, Melly Mill? What's happening, man? Compton made in the house. That's my guy. G-Force. I mean, not G-Force. Strike Force. That's Strike Force. Rodney Scott, what's happening, man? Yeah, so like I say, man, our business was like, it was well documented when people had to have them Pyrex bowls and them oversized jars. I was their Huckleberry. That's just it. If I had to put it in plain terms, but yeah, like us, Twin, Turtle, Gangster, they was like some of the 4 or 5 forward guys that was in that over there in our section that spent a lot of time and spent a lot of money in low riding. The homie Rocky, rest in peace. And there's others that I'm probably not saying. Will, he was invested in it. Give it up for TV. I see all that time. TV1, see it all the time. You see it all the time. Yeah. So I took a look at Turtles. Let me see. What did he say? Turtles quote, especially that skating ring partner. Yeah. Yeah, that's a classic, right? Minnie Mill, what's up with Big Homie Compton? 135, that's in the house, the 135. Y'all know I grew up over there. I grew up on 135th and Avalon, right there. Right there, I grew up over there. That was like the second house that I was aware of. My first house was on Aprilla. That's Aprilla right off of Compton Boulevard. Then from there, we moved on 135th and Avalon. And then from 135th and Avalon, we moved to Fruittown and spent quite a few years over in Fruittown. And then from Fruittown, we moved on Spring Street. And that happened to be 68, 69. And that's where everything started taking a different turn. The dynamics of Black culture started to change. Black people. That was during the time when Zeus and his family, Reach and his family, and all different families were moving over into those areas and buying those homes because the white people was leaving. They was getting out of Dodge. They didn't, after they realized that whatever had been lifted as far as that was redlining, because we was redlining not to be able to buy property over in East Compton, so once that was lifted, and then the GI bills that kicked in for the Black soldiers. My father was actually a paratrooper. So we was able to purchase that home over there, and a lot of other Black families was purchasing their homes during that time. Get those likes. So what do you think about that, Marlene? And when you didn't know, Black Tone was one of the original Majestics, right? Yeah, G spent a lot of money, man. A lot of money. What's up, J Ship? Yeah, you can't take nothing. Like all these guys that I named, right? All these guys they should be in. It should be, if there was a Hall of Fame of lowriders, Zeus name would be in there, Tweet name would be in there, Turtle's name would be in there, Gangster name, Twin, and then some of the older guys like Bob Murphy, Curtis Malacon, Robert Kitchen, Cliff and Tony. there would be a lot of good, and I may be missing some guys, you know. Don't this is just my perspective, my introspective that I understand from it, because I do understand and overstand and understand. I do that, but at the same time, I'm not perfect. If I miss your name, don't hold me to that. I just missed it, and I don't know why. I can't explain it, but it wasn't personal. Yeah, they had some nice cars. You're right, bro. They always had nice cars. They would have some of the best cars. And like I say, low riding gave a camaraderie, or bring that commonality together, because the commonality is a continuance of rapport. It's when you in a continuance of rapport, and you mix and master and mirror one another, you know, because during that time, I think low riding, man, Terry Carter was on the west side. Yeah, Terry Carter was definitely in there, bro. Definitely in there. He was there. Uh, and like I say, Terry Tarzan, there was a lot of people. Like I say, if there's anybody you names you want to throw up in there, definitely put them in the chat, and we're gonna shout them out as well. I'm just, you know, because I'm limited as far as all the info. I don't have a great deal of information as far as what lowrider, who started it and where they started and why. And I'm kind of limited in that sphere. But what I do have, I have insight, and I have intelligence to understand that there's other individuals involved in what we call lowriders. Shout out to Lock and Low. Oh man, I felt amazing in that 59. That 59, that Cloud 9. Cloud 9, y'all go back and look on. I put it up to post a couple of days ago. I was in there. Now, I don't heard a lot of music in lowriders, and I seen a lot, but this car right here, there was no trunk rattling. There was none of that. This car had such a perfective sound system. It was like one of Bang & Olufsen's, or like in your home or something. Gary May, right on, Gary May. There you go. You see? Yeah, you're right. So back to the Cloud 9. Music was so good, man. And the setup in the trunk was, the engine was all just chromed out, the engravings and everything. You know, I just want to sit in the car and just reminisce and just think about the possibility of hitting the boulevard. you know, Wacko got the cleanest lowrider in Compton right now. Right on. Shout out to Wacko, man. Shout out to Wacko from the west side, man. Shout out to him, bro. I would love to see a picture of that car too. Yeah, Keith. So if you have a picture of it, man, if you can send it to me, and on Instagram. Yeah, so like I say, Zeus, man, spent a great deal of time in that, man, perfecting his craft. Turtle, Twin, Gangster, Andre Howard, and others. Don Juan, my homie Don Juan, had some of the cleanest 59s, and his brother David McCaney, and all the I forgot Jimmy. What was Jimmy Hang? Jimmy Allen? Jimmy Ellis? Jimmy Allen. Used to have the green Continental, and my brother-in-law now, Ron. Everybody called him Baller Ron. Hey, Ron has some, you know, he rest in peace as well. Yeah, a lot of nice low riders, you know. A lot of nice road riders. My brother and Age and Ange and my brother BK, they were all part of the Majestics. They were all part of it. They've had their plaques, and my little brother would go out there, hit the switch. He had I don't know what that car. He had a green foe, that black and green foe with the patterns, and everybody wanted Doc to do their patterns. If you didn't have Doc to do your patterns wasn't like, you know, you was like, you good, but man, Doc didn't do those. That's what that conversation would be. And I saying, you know, I remember when I first met Doc. Doc was in the backyard over there on Tucker, right, where we was at. And I was watching him do the put the tape on. He had a little razor blade, and he had a little joint in his mouth. He had a razor blade, and he had the little skinny little tape, and he would make this sound go, and he'd cut it off, and he'd go to the other side and make the other sound. Zeus had lowriders in Orange County. See, he said, I didn't know that. See, so Doc would go to the other side and do the same thing. Do that, and then he'd come back with the airbrush, right? I'm watching him do this, right? I'm sitting there just observing and just trying to get a feel for what he do and how good he was, right? So he goes up, he peels the tape off, and he goes the other side and he peels the tape off. Now, mind you, I didn't see this man measure anything. I think it was all hand and eye coordination, and I guess he felt his way through it, right? I guess he had been doing it so long that he was just that good, just that good. So when he did it, I went to one side, I looked to the side, I went to the other side, looked to the side. Now I'm looking for any imperfection or anything that was a line that wasn't done right, or none of that happened. I'm like sitting there scratching my head, right? Like, and how's this even possible? But people prove impossible possible every day. That's what happens. Julian Lewis checking in from Oklahoma City. I remember watching a video called Tipping. I've seen where Black in the Days calls was used from Playground Ernest's house. Yeah, Big Ernest. That's Big Ernest, man. Big Ernest had all them Continentals. I remember Big Ernest had a whole service truck. He could pull up in this big old service truck and fix a lowrider right there wherever it breaks down. Oh, he had a lowrider shop in Orange County. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Well, that's where the money's at, Reach. So that would make sense. That definitely would make sense. That definitely would make sense. Not saying there ain't no money in Compton or anywhere else, but you know, when you're in Orange County, just seeing the price, yesterday price is not today price. That's how Orange County, they're gonna, they're gonna raise the bar as far as pricing, but they're gonna give you great, good quality work. And I don't know what it is about that. I don't know if that's culture and it ain't got nothing to do with white people. I think that they just have a high expectation of the businesses that are ran over there. That's just my opinion on it. I don't make it true. So all the businesses that I've seen ran over there. I think the guy MC used to have the music business over there. I don't know whatever happened to him, but man, he did some really, really, really good work. Very, very detailed out, and a lot of people took their cars there and got their music done. A rider shop in Orange County, right? So, is there any other questions that need to be answered? A question, because I think we covered Tall Boy that gave Boulevard Rod, actually Rod Parker, the name Boulevard. We covered that. We covered that. That's where Zeus got the name, and that's honorary. That's an honor, man, for somebody to like. Because at that time, Rod had went away. He had to go spend some time away in college, and when he came back, he's changed his life and he's doing quite well. I talk to him often. It's my little brother. I call him my little brother. He called me Big Brother. So we got a very good, great relationship and understanding. And I see what he's doing. A very, very honorable man. And I got a great deal of respect for him. Great deal. Tookie had a 64. You know what? I've never seen Tookie the 64. Not saying that he didn't have one. I never seen him in one, but not saying I did see Tookie in a bomb. He had a bomb back in the day, like one of them 52s or 51s, something like that. He had one of those. Man, so yeah, I've been off celebrating birthday, chilling, just having a good time. And how you guys been? Did you guys, man, I don't think you guys even missed me at it or even noticed that I wasn't even on the internet. Let me see. The lowriding crew that came out of Kelly Park era, who were their big names? I think it was BK. Is BK over there? I'm not for sure, bro. Y'all was rich on Santa Fe. I guess he had to be with the business to hang with the talent. You could have been what you was considered a square. You could have, yeah. Well, Zeus wasn't necessarily a talent, bro. Zeus was just a homeboy that we grew up with that just had his own independent thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that because there's many people that live in a neighborhood that still thrive in the neighborhood that still and be greatly respected. You understand? So you don't necessarily have to be associated with, the Panez boys. Yeah, that's where they was at. That's what they was calling themselves, the Panez boys, the first Majestics over there. They were the Panez boys. That's what Wayne, Elbow, Rod, Calvin, John, Jimmy Allen, Don Juan, David McCaney, and others. Big Wolf was over there. Yeah, sometimes I even shock myself at some of all Scruncho was over there, some of all these names that I remember, and then when I see them out, it's good to see them out and about, and say hello to them, have a word with them, have a conversation and reminisce about the old days. Yeah, definitely not gang related, but with it. Yeah, you're right, Reach. Definitely not gang related, but with it. That's my little young partner right there. I don't care what nobody say. Because here's the thing, right? The amazing thing about some of the stuff, as far as what I say, we had our interest was Pyrex bowls and oversized jars. You got to have a introspective and a conversation on deeper levels because everybody they trying to get to the next level, right? So how do you do that? You talk to a guy that's already been through that and understand all that. And a lot of times, man, Panaz fam, the conversation would just go way down, and you would find out some things and there's a lot of people that I could talk about, but I don't talk because I don't know their business, what they're doing, so I don't bring them up. But they were really, really huge in that life. Huge. I'm talking about huge. But even when I used to have conversations with Captain Shahid from the Nation of Islam, used to be over there off of Muriel behind Linwood High at a sister house. I think it's son Daoud and all them used to be there. Abdullah, Rashad, and all them cats. But anyway, what's going on? What's going on with my guy Ghost? Yeah, so this lowrider culture is an unbelievable culture because it's a culture that supersedes a lot of things and it will push things off to the side in order for it to thrive and survive. And that's been going on for quite some time since the first Majestics were 1963. You go context. Yeah, the first Majestics was 1963. And then it built on and on and on and on and on, right? And then it's where it is today, and still under the stewardship of Gangster and Twin. I think Huncho has some part over there. Tap it in, Melly Mel. This is the original content. Thank you, baby. Yeah, enjoyed my birthday, right? Took some days off because you guys don't know. A lot of times the depth, the research, gathering information, gathering pictures, gathering different clips. Like I was able to find this clip. I'm gonna play it again. Well, Zeus come dip it in. This is like a great moment right here. When you see him just pull.
Right here we got Robert Carcel, a.k.a. Zeus, riding up in the Cherry Red 64 with the hot switch hand. I'm talking about hopping out the sky, jumping off the ground, seesawing, three-wheeling. He just was the guy when it came to that. You see on his bumper say Mr. Boulevard. Yeah, he came
Mr. Boulevard right there on the license plate.
Putting that bread four up against any and everybody, taking all takers. Mr. Zeus, Mr. AK, Mr. Boulevard.
So I think
there he is, Robert Carcel, my homeboy, my loved one. Rest in peace.
In that clip right there, he was looking for the Public Enemy cats over there with Big Punchy and all that. Yeah, so yeah, that was always been a rival for Compton Lowrider cats was Public Enemy or JC and what was his brother name? I can't think his name. They was from East Coast, I think. JC and Jimbo. Yeah. They was like some of the, had them hospitals, and then don't forget about Papa over there out the forums, switch hand, and then the guy Switch Man. I saw him. He was very good switch. Skeet used to be out there hitting the switches. So yeah, Big Nay Nay. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing to see, and then you get all these people that convene and converge on these lowrider hops. They got guys that coming in out of state, out of town, when they got some, like, say for instance, if G going up against a tweet or something, you got guys that fly in, especially just to go see that happen. They want to see that happen. They want to see, want to be there witnessing that whatever the outcome is, because they know both of them got good switch hands and they know how to hit them licks, and that's just something they want to see. And they'll fly in to see that. Even the guys from Japan that come over, they said, man, they meeting this Saturday at such and such place, man. The hop is on at such and such time. This car against that car, and they'll name the names, and it'll be, all the girls will be there. People will be pulling up in hot dog carts and taco carts and selling chips and donuts. It'd be a big thing. But I think over the years, as it began, the street takeover guys have been messing it up, because they come doing all these donuts in the street, burning and smoking everybody out, making everybody get choked up. I don't want to be all that, breathing all that rubber down my throat or stuff down my nose and nostrils and stuff. Yeah. You funny kid. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't want to, I didn't want to have that, but I respect it. But I went to the takeover, and like when I first came home from the feds, both of my sons, my little brother, they took me to my first takeover, right? It had to be around about, let's see, 2011, I believe, 2011, fresh out. And I was standing back at least 50 feet, and I was still jumping. And I can't imagine the people that's standing out there in the streets with the cars while they swinging back and forth and going through all that. That was just crazy to me, man. If somebody just miscue or slip a brake or hit the pedal or something and don't correct the steering, oversteer or something, bam, you out of there. Out of there. No chance you're going to survive that. Thank you, Kiva. Appreciate it. Yeah, so again, shout out to Zeus family, shout out to his nephew and everybody else that's out there thriving and living, and continue to shout out to my homeboy Reach. Shout out to Bat Mike. I haven't seen him in quite some time. Eddie Mo, rest in peace. Just shout out to everybody that Zeus touched their life and was a part of their life, and they was a part of his life. And I think I can't wait for Reach to finish his car. Reach he in the lab right now. Robbie and Terrell Anderson off of Muriel Drive used to run with Starvin Marvin and Pat. Okay. Cornell Norman, you know some stuff, bro. Where the Compton hoods big into the, yeah, of course, man. Come on, man. That's what we talking about here. That was big. I'm telling you, man, a lot of things would get set aside for the lowriders to do what they do. they stop people from game banging, you know, because man, you gonna mess up the lowrider show and the lowrider picnic. Nah, man, don't take that somewhere. Giacomo from Campanella Park said it was standing next to Tookie. He was a red rag hanging and didn't know, but it was important. It said Tookie. What? Tookie arm was bigger than his head. Yeah, Tookie had about some 25-inch arms, bro. The N Hoods and come them. That's where the Pan Am's boys was at. That's where they originated from. Out of there, that later on became N Hood. Yeah, thank you, Reed. Shout out to Big B, Caddy, and Lil Melly. Shout out to them. Yeah. Uh, Shout out to Marlena Williams for doing her thing. Yeah, but again, I'm waiting on Reach, man. When Reach get his car together, I'm gonna go, man, and pull out my camera and we gonna go because I know he don't broke it down to the lowest common denominator. You know, chroming, powder coating, putting every meticulous part and details and all. He knows, I mean, because he learned from some of the best people that ever done it. You know, Turtle would use them, not like that, but Turtle had a way to help people, and at the same time, they was able to make money and also get parts. That's how they operate like that. Jay and Zeus, I mean, Reach know what I'm talking about when I say that. You know, pushing cars out or taking tires, whatever it was. Yeah, Pan Am's and In Hood is the same, bro. That just Pan Am's became In Hood, and that's where it all started. Oh, your pops had a 64? Yeah, 64s was like that was like the go-to for most people. I mean, all the other ones, and if you got a rag, like my partner, right? Lock and Load, he got the 57 rag, 58 rag, 59 rag, 64 rag, and 67 rag. He got all rag tops. And as he finishes, once everything come up to get done, I'll go over there and film everything and check it all out. But yeah, it's nothing like, man, hitting a Sunday, hitting a shawl on a Sunday, rag down, sun beaming. There was one time I'm in Gangsters Rag 4, right? Going up Crenshaw, Stocker. I'm at the light right there. Me and my son Dante. And we on Stocker and Crenshaw. Some chicks jumped out their car from the other side of the street, ran over and jumped in the floor and say, please don't put us out. Please. I'm looking at my son looking at me like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, that's the Boulevard. Boulevard was the first Boulevard I ever known was Boulevard Ride. And then yeah, all the other boulevards came after him. Yeah, you're right. All the other ones came after him. But anyway, we've been having fun up in here. Anybody got any more questions? Aldris, that was a great point. Yeah, Marlena Williams laughing at that. Yeah, that chick was really like excited about that. Pet bulls and gates can't stop your lowriders from getting stolen. I don't care who's your bedroom window. And you're right, because I know me, Twin, and Gangster. I ain't gonna say we somewhere on the west side, right? We got a 67. We literally pushed it out the dude's it was right there by his bedroom. We pushed it out the street. It was raining. And we couldn't get it started. So I just went and got my car and pushed it all the way to the neighborhood. outside of Shaw was y'all cruising spots. Florence and Maine, Western and Imperial. There was a lot. The traffic center over there off of Gardenia, Terminal Island. There was a lot of them, bro. New Way, Skate Depot. Everybody used to go up there and go up, then leave there and go up to New Way or whatever. So there was a lot of them. There was a lot of times where we did a lot of different stuff, man, and it just, you know, it just over, you know, we was able to get it done, bro. Let's see, hopping 57 is not a good flavor for me. Hopping starts with 59 and up. Why you say that, Rodney? What's your take on that? Me myself personally, I wouldn't hop a 57, 58 or 59. They too much of a this masterful piece of a car. You know, if you put those things together, there was some really, really extraordinary, beautiful cars. Just very with the paint splitters and all the different chrome pieces and all the different little hinges and dings on the bumpers and different stuff. All that stuff, man. You know. Before I get it, let me say this, right? No one is responsible for emotional reactions except for you, right? And others can't say or do anything but what happens inside of you is only the result of what you're thinking or feeling at this time, you know? So just know that no one is responsible for your emotion and reaction except for you. And sometimes people, I think we as in the culture that grew up in Compton, Watts, LA, Gardenia, Carson, Linwood, sometimes we over compensate for certain things. And I don't know, Melly Mill, what's going on? What's up, Pinoy? Sometimes we just overreact on certain things, and then we got certain people that think they own the market of certain things, and it's kind of hard to explain. But when I'm talking about certain things, people, you know, they don't think you should really, like, I'm gonna tell you this, right? You know, I'm gonna tell you guys this, right? I got a call today, right? A guy, he been spending in and out of prison, 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 right? So he did a video, right? He sent it to me, and then we're gonna discuss it in a day or two. He said the reason why he been going in and out of jail, and he told me straight up, right? No cap. He said the reason why I've been going in and out of jail because of homosexuality. So at this time, my eyes are like this. Like, huh? What you say? Yeah, so self-admitting, you know, self-admitting. And I don't know if he want to do an interview or whatever, but he took the bandit stuff to a whole nother level because he didn't hide it. He didn't hide it. And he said that's been his Achilles heel, you know. So sometimes, man, and I'm saying no one is responsible for your emotional reaction except for you. So I had to be responsible for my emotional reaction when I'm hearing this from somebody that I knew but never knew that. You understand? So I couldn't come out and just ridicule him or try to put my own interpretation on it or try to understand or call him anything, tell him to be by himself. So yeah, it was just, you know, but yeah, he sent me the video and man, we gotta take another look at it, you know. And I don't know what you guys think. You know, that's a good question. Yeah, they did used to put rocks and sandbags and lead in the back of their trucks. I'm gonna pray for him. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's something that if he's willing to come on and talk about it and explain it, what do you guys think? Or do we continue as a culture keep pretending like something don't exist, or pretend that we don't know this, or all these dudes that been in these prisons now they walking in plain sight pretending like they never indulged or engaged in that? Do we continue to do that? You know, what do you do? What do I do with that? You know? But he said he had to tell somebody, he had to pray about it. Even talking to the religious people, you know, his pastor and different people, and I guess they have been encouraging him to speak his truth. That's, you know, so I'm gonna leave it right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back. You know, remember, you can go anywhere in the world and hear lies, but you come right here to get the truth. Before they had handguns, they had fair ones. Man up. So I just want to hear, well, was he booty manded, or his encounters were casual? Now that's what we got to get to, Marlena. That's what we got to get to. You know, like I say, I never interviewed one of these people, but okay. I can't have an opinion on it. If I'm gonna be like coming from a journalistic perspective, I can't have opinion on it. I can't be affected by it. I can't be like moved by it or react to it in any kind of way. I just can't. If I scared to continue to do what I do in this sphere, you know, I had to have at least some idea that maybe sometime there's gonna be some stories that come your way that may not be in the greater interest. I don't know. But like I say, no one is responsible for your emotional reactions except for you. Others can't say and do anything like that. But what happens inside you is only the result of what you're thinking or feeling. Simple. Yeah, and you're right, Kiva. That would have been thank you. Thank you, Reach. I appreciate it, homie. I appreciate it. Yeah, and like I say, Reach, man, I'm gonna walk with you step by step, man, because I know you're gonna build a beautiful car. I know that the level of depth you have and how serious you are about, you know, making that come true. And I know it's gonna be something to see once you're done, bro. I know that. I know because I've been seeing you all your life, and you've been seeing me, and we've been passing each other and hollering at each other and growing up, you know. Like I say, in that community, we had Oaks Park Satellite, the Burrito Factory, the Red House, you know, and the liquor store right there that burned down. We had all that, you know, we had to, you know. Marlon. But anyway, man, be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share, drop a comment below. So when this dope content hit, we gonna feel like it's the first and the 15th. I am Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman, content creator, thought leader, influencer. Continue to follow me, push them thumbs up, help trigger the algorithms. Let's get this going. City, hood, click, let's go. And let's take it. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. Let's go. With that being said, you guys continue to do what you do, continue to grow, be good, be safe, and most of all, be well.
Perfect grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Cali Miners, baby. Perfect grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Bricks for the low.
Marlene Williams, go ahead and lock the door because we are going.